I call it the semi-pro because it's more than a homeowner's, but not quite as much as a pro saw. I don't know. It's Dave and Lillie. Lily's acting all tired. So out here to, well, at least we get the stumps for sure cut. I don't know, cut down. I don't know if we'll get everything hauled off yet today, but we'll haul off as much as we can and go from there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stumps to cut down. A couple of them I'm gonna have to do in 2 cuts. That one, the 2 bigger ones, maybe 3 of them. 3 of them I'll have to do in 2 cuts just because of the size. Make it easier to carry the rounds. So, yep. If you've ever cut stump down to flat, it's not very fun. You know, it's awkward and you have to get on the ground and it's just not very exciting. So, but anyways, this will wrap up the food plot expansion. It has gone much better than I thought. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. So yeah, once I get these stumps cut down, and then people ask, what do I do with the stumps? In my first food plot I stump ground them. The problem I found with that in a few years is they left big holes. Not with what I'm going to do, won't do that, but it doesn't seem to be as dramatic. When you stump grind them, you end up with a pretty big hole in year 2. Even though you backfill it with all the choppings and stuff, it just doesn't seem to equate out. And plus the critters like to dig through it and stuff. I like to, so since then I've changed to, on the first food plot I left them about, I don't know, a few inches up off the ground to 6 inches up. And the thought was I could see them and do everything around them. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done it that way. These I'm going to cut off pretty as no more than a few inches off the ground, so you can mow over them and so I can disc over them. In time they'll rot away, and I'm fine with that in time. They also give me a place, if I want, I can put minerals out, salt out, stuff like that. It works really great on a stump. So stumps seem to draw wildlife too. Rabbits, squirrels and stuff all seem to gather to stumps and be around stumps, according to my trail cameras. So I think it's good for the wildlife. So anyway, that's why I do it. If I had an excavator, yeah, I could pull them out and then I could backfill with dirt and it would be all great. I don't have an excavator and I'm not renting one. So this is the best I can do. It's April 9th, Masters Week, and it was 35 this morning when I woke up. It's been cold all this week. Last week it was warm, but then we had storms all the time. So it's either storms or cold. We got in one rainfall, well, it's been 2 weeks since I've been out here, and in those 2 weeks it filled up an entire Lowe's bucket full of water. That's how much rain we've gotten. A lot of rain. And already there are places drying out. So supposed to get more rain tomorrow, so I'm gonna hop on this. So when I filmed the cutting of the stumps, I actually had my camera on time-lapse. I didn't know it. I slowed it down a bit or this would be ridiculously fast. And yeah, I apologize. Also in time-lapse, there's no sound. So enjoy the music and the show. There's a point where the camera goes upside down. That's when Lillie knocked it over. All right, enjoy. Sorry folks, my new chainsaw. My other one's got a problem with the oiler, and I think that's the only thing wrong with it, but I'm not 100% sure. So this is the Echo Timberwolf 590. It's had a lot of good, I got it because it had a lot of good reviews. I wanted to get the Stihl 391. I don't need a pro saw, but I like that balance between, I call it the semi-pro, because it's more than a homeowner's, but not quite as much as a pro saw. I don't do enough firewood. I don't do enough tree cutting for a pro saw. Not that I wouldn't like to have one. Would I like to have one? Absolutely. They cost a lot of money. So the 391 from Stihl was about $200, $180 more than this. But the reviews for the Echo were good. So but here's how it's gone so far. So I got the first one, and I cut a bunch of trees at my house that went down in a storm. I had a cedar, and then a really large cedar that ended up being a group of 3 trees. And so got those cut down and used a new saw. But as I used it, kept having issues staying running, and that got worse. And then it had an issue where it just wouldn't start. And so I checked it, and it wasn't getting any ignition. So the spark plug wasn't firing. And I could have fooled with it, but I'm like, it's within its 30-day warranty. I just took it back and got another one. I'll give this a chance. And so far it's run pretty good, but that's it. If this doesn't work, then I'll go get a Stihl. They pay the extra money. I like how it cuts. I like its power. It reminds me a lot of the 390. So I'm fine with it. Chainsaws are not cheap no matter what you do. And this one was close to $600. But the 391, I think, is close to $900. So, that's the difference. Anyway, yeah. So as I use it, I'll talk more about it. This may be a good saw, or maybe not. Maybe it's not. I haven't used it enough to say it's not a saw that can handle what I'm doing, because the things I've done haven't been too earth-shattering. I mean, I'm not sitting there cutting all day long for 8 hours. It's not even close to that. So anyway, all right, let's get on it. Echo 590. It's got a 20-inch bar, 3/8" pitch, 70 links though. The Stihl I have, the 390, was 72 links. So far that's the only difference I've seen. Hey, it's Dave and Lillie. And we're out at the food plot in the pinelands, and I just want to put to conclusion the expansion. So I'm gonna let you pan around. So all the stumps, all the logs, all the rounds removed, all the logs dragged out, and the expansion's pretty well complete. The only thing I got left to do is to disc it, and then put some fertilizer and seed on it. So, and I was looking at it, I've looked at it multiple times during the day, and this all now gets a lot of sun. I know the leaves will get a little bushier, but still the amount of sun that we're getting out here, huge difference. So, hey, like I predicted, it took multiple weeks to do this. And my life got, we got delayed because of different things that happened. But we got it knocked out. So now we can move on to other things. And, got some other big projects we need to work on. So we'll see how far we get on those this year. But right now, that's it for the food plot expansion. I'm glad it's done. Anytime you start something, it weighs on you. Am I going to get it? It's just a food plot, Dave. It still weighs on you. You want to get it done. So I'm glad it's done, and we can move forward. So, hey, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you tuning in. Like I always say, make kindness your business. Do something kind for somebody. You never know what kind of impact that might have on somebody's life. It takes a little bit of your effort, but could have a huge impact on somebody. So I appreciate you watching, and for Dave and Lillie, we're going to stay out.